here we are once again facing Atletico Madrid in the Supercopa de España. And as you can see from the thumbnail, I think my point of view is pretty simple. If we do not win this game, it's gonna be embarrassing for Real Madrid. And I don't care what happened in the 5-2 that was at the Wanda Metropolitano. Real Madrid has to win this game. But what is gonna happen in this game? How are the teams looking like before? What is their form right now? How is Atletico doing? How is Real Madrid doing in the La Liga, in UCL? And what is the predicted lineup of myself as well? Now, before we begin, I would like to ask you, please subscribe so we hit that 2K as soon as possible. We are not really close right now, but come on, man. And please as well, like and comment your thoughts on this game. Now, I would say Real Madrid has had a way tougher period in this season than Atletico Madrid. Let's be honest, Atletico Madrid at the start was in complete shambles. They were not winning games. They were constantly underperforming. But if you actually looked at their underlying numbers and how they were actually like underperforming their XG, I would just say that Atletico, it was a matter of time until they started to puff a little bit more, especially with the players like Julian Alvarez, Barrios. I think they are good players, Baena, but they just didn't click at the start of the season. Now, they have not been doing that great in the league. Of course, they are on the same points as Villarreal. Now, if you told that Simeone and the Atletico Madrid fans before the season began, they would probably say that they are having a cheek season. Let's be honest, guys. But in the spectrum of the whole season, I think they have done pretty alright. Let's be honest, guys. Atletico Madrid, 11 wins, 5 draws, only 3 losses. That's the same as Villarreal and 1 more than Barcelona and Real Madrid. They have now, of course, lost to Barcelona and beaten Real Madrid. So it's a 50-50 against the biggest teams. I think Atletico Madrid has... They are so lucky. They have Julian Alvarez, of course. But they have enough players right now to still be competing for this trophy. But one of their biggest misses, I would say, is of course Langley, who was performing really well. But still, even if you look at the lineup right now, Ruggeri, Hanko, Pubil, Lorente, this is not a good defense. I think this is their biggest weakness, their defense. They just cannot constantly put up the same lineup in the defense. Now, Jose Jimenez, Molina, Lenormand is expected to be on the bench, but he could, of course, start. He had some issues before this game as well. I would say if Lenormand starts, it's a completely different game because Pubil, let's be honest, guys, this guy doesn't have enough experience, in my opinion, at least. He's 22 years old. He looks okay, but he just doesn't offer that experience in the Madrid derby that is needed. Let's be honest, guys. You could just see it with Carreras and Huijsen, who we are going to talk about later in the video as well. But in that first game against Atletico Madrid, experience matters. It just does matter, and they looked lost. As soon as it's a big game and the team is physical, some of these unexperienced players are going to have huge problems. That's what I'm banking on, especially with Pubil. I think Barrios, that he's already established enough to be expected to do good in this game. I think Barrios is a quality player. One of their biggest weaknesses as well, I would say, is actually their captain. Come on, Koke. If Koke actually starts this game, I'm gonna put this shit in the bag, man. Because Camavinga and Tchouaméni in the same midfield against Koke is a mismatch. Now, of course, it matters a lot if Xabi Alonso does something weird and changes the lineup, which I don't think he will, but I'm gonna predict it at the end of the video. I hope he doesn't, because our midfield against Betis was sensational. You could maybe say we weren't doing that much of, connecting the defense through the midfield to the attack. That's I think my biggest criticism, and my only criticism actually, that we didn't have really a deep lying player that was really making those passes and somebody who could start the attack really well from the midfield. I think all 3 midfielders actually, even Jude, was a bit poor in the passing to the final third. But defensively and pressing-wise, Tchouaméni, Camavinga, and Bellingham are monsters. They have engines on engines. They have a second heart. Everything, bro. They don't feel anything in their body, bro. 4 lungs as well, man. Ji Sung Park type of style of midfielder. That's what Camavinga is, especially. Camavinga for me changes this game completely, because if we are talking about playing this game with Fede Valverde or Dani Ceballos as a center mid, ended the game. I think Fede Valverde cannot play as a 6 or as an 8 in this system. As an 8 in a Carlo Ancelotti system, or in a more like free-flowing system, I think Fede Valverde is perfect for that. But right now, Fede Valverde as a right back, I would say he's gonna do a perfect job there. So why not just, maybe I would say the one thing that I don't like about Fede Valverde is that he is kind of getting like how would you say this? I think Fede Valverde has more to give, and that Betis game proved me right. That was the Fede Valverde at right back. That is sensational. Defensively and attacking wise, 2 assists. Defensively, he was sensational. Other than a few misplaced passes, I think that was his best game as a right back in La Liga this season. And I want to see more. But before that, he is a bit suspect in my opinion. But back to the midfield, as I said, Camavinga completely changes it, because I don't trust Ceballos at all. Bambrada put Ceballos in the bag, but Fede Valverde as well this season. Now, to compare the attacks, I think Alvarez has completely changed like Atletico Madrid's attack, because he is their best attacker. He is the best player at this club in my opinion as well. So Alvarez is gonna give us problems. I think there is at least 1 or 2 goals coming from Alvarez in this game. But Sorloth is a problem to Real Madrid as well. He's not a big of a problem to other La Liga teams who have, like many La Liga teams have already experienced center backs. They have an experienced goalkeeper and this and that. But of course, Courtois is at the same level. He's the best goalkeeper in the world. The experience is there. But once again, with Asensio, Rudiger being a bum right now, like Rudiger, I think it's time to retire after this season. Maybe even if Huijsen comes back, there is talks about Huijsen being in the lineup. He's not registered right now, but he's not in the injury list as well. I would say this is a big problem, because the center backs, even against Betis, were the biggest liability in my opinion. We won that game 5-1, but the goal that came, the one goal that came, was completely on Asensio not tracking his runner, completely just missing the ball. He by the way, his body language in that action is just, the experience is just not that. But then Rudiger, your defending and your speed is just gone. His ability is gone as well. Even Courtois on that goal, I didn't think he did a good job. But that's fully on the center backs. That is my, I would say, biggest concern in this game. Sorloth, Alvarez versus Rudiger and Asensio. I think that's where the battle will happen. And if Camavinga and Tchouaméni don't have a great defensive game, it's once again gonna be a gold fest for Atletico. That's what I think. We need to have as much of the ball as we can. We always do against Atletico Madrid, but if we give them even a slither of 10 minutes, 15 minutes of comfortable, not pressing from Madrid, and we let them have the ball, it's gonna be a tough game. Now, I think this game is actually gonna go in our favor. The Real Sociedad 1-1, which was so poor from Atletico Madrid's point of view. Real Sociedad actually outplayed them. Once again, they have the ball's possession, this and that, but getting outplayed by Real Sociedad, and you might be, but this is Real Sociedad. If you look at the La Liga table, Real Sociedad is 15th on 4 wins and 8 losses. This is not the Real Sociedad back then, with these players, all of them. This is a poor Real Sociedad side. So Atletico Madrid is not going to be too comfortable going into this game. Now, they have, of course, haven't lost in 5 games, sorry. But I just don't think Atletico is too... They are not consistent at all. But going into this game, especially a cup game, this is not a La Liga game at Wanda Metropolitano. People have to understand this. If it's a game that Atletico is playing at home against Real Madrid, I might even predict an Atletico Madrid win. But once again, if you just look at Real Madrid's form right now, it's a lossless form. I know Sevilla, Talavera, and Alaves, poor games. If we look at from a perspective of a footballing team, tactical team, it was poor. But if you look at the City game, that wasn't a poor game tactically or a footballing wise as a team, and that was the same lineup that we put out against Real Betis. This was all with Kylian Mbappe and Vinicius Jr. still doing a madness on the left and striker, and we were playing, Ceballos in some games, and this. I don't take these 3 games seriously. Honestly, they were just like a fever dream. These 2 games proved me that if you have a normal number 9 and play your players where they are supposed to be played, because Kamavinga is an 8 or a 6. Chouamani is a 6 and Jude is an 8 or a 10. See, this is how I see midfielders, for example. And they all played in kind of these roles. Kamavinga was like an 8 between a 6. Chouamani was the deepest player, and Bellingham was still an 8, but he was the more, how would you say it, advanced player. And that's what I liked about Xabi Alonso's system in the Betis game, that Rodrigo, Vinicius did their thing on the wings. Even though Vinicius had, I think, a poor second half, he still did good in the first half. And then Gonzalo Garcia did what a striker needs to do. Be in the right place at the right time and score your chances. That's all I need to do. Fullbacks, Carreras and Valverde, I am not that concerned, as I said already. I just want to see more consistency from Valverde. But the center backs, once again, that's where my concern comes. Especially if Sorloth is going to be instructed to play like he did at the Wanda Metropolitano. We conceded so many chances and corners just from the fact that Sorloth has physical and aerial prowess in the box. That's everything that Simeone basically planned for Madrid in that game, while also having the wingers. I think it was Nico Gonzalez who is actually going to miss this game, which is a big miss as well. But Baena and Simeone are comfortably capable of putting in crosses, but also, if they lose the ball from that cross, this midfield, apart from Koke, I would say, is good enough from a stamina point of view, physical point of view, to get back and press once again. This is one of their biggest strengths. That they always had players who run religiously. And once again, if Koke doesn't play, it's going to be either, I don't know, maybe Gallagher, it can be Cardoso, Almada. I'm not scared of this Atletico team. That's what I'm actually getting at. Because if Xabi Alonso has learned anything from that game, it's that Sorloth cannot have a good game. If Rudiger is on Sorloth in this game, I don't think Atletico have a chance. I don't think Oblak is going to be sensational in this game. Maybe he can prove me wrong. But if we take our chances in this game, I think Real Madrid has a really big chance of winning this game. I think right now, I would say it's about 80% win for Real Madrid and 20% for Atletico Madrid. But that can change really quickly if Huijsen returns and Xabi Alonso prefers him over Rudiger. I think that would be a huge mistake from Xabi Alonso. But once again, we can only wait and see for my predicted lineup as well. One more thing I want to mention for this game. I think this is a legacy game for Gonzalo Garcia. I know he's so young, and people are going to be saying, oh, why is it a legacy game? I'm just saying, if he has a bad performance, okay, that's fine. But if he has a good performance and scores a goal or 2 goals, bro, Garcia, you need to you need to be putting up numbers. So when that Mbappe comes back, he gets to put in that left wing position. That is what I want from this team. I want Gonzalo Garcia to have a generational run until Mbappe's come back. Because one game, that's cute, you scored your hat-trick, it's sensational. But Xabi Alonso kinda has to play Vinicius, but kinda has to play Mbappe as well. But if you prove everybody wrong, even in the biggest games, on the biggest stage, Gonzalo Garcia, I think you have a really big chance of starting every single game in this season and bench Vinicius Jr. I really do. But that's why I'm saying this is a legacy game in, how would you call it? This is a game for the starting 11. That's what I would call it. Because Monaco after this and that, we have games after this, of course, Villarreal even. It's not that big. It's just not that big. Super Cup, by the way, if anybody says they don't care about this trophy, you are a high one. Even if you are a Real Madrid fan. As Faisal would say, you are a high one, you are a Nas. Come on, bro. How are you not caring about the trophy that's being played against Atletico Madrid and Barcelona? My brother, pathetic Bilbao, please win against Barcelona as well, bro. I'm not going to be doing a preview, but please, one of the content creators, Warrior Kuler, if you are watching, my brother, please go bold. Okay, we have a bet, if Bilbao wins Bilbao is never winning, by the way, but the bet is there. Come on, Bilbao, bro. Come on. But back to the Garcia point. If he performs in these big games, especially against Atletico Madrid and maybe in the final against Barcelona, I think he has a safe spot in the starting 11. And that's why I think it's a no-brainer that this 11 should start with each other once again. The Betis 11, I don't think it has a weakness. Maybe you could say Vinicius Jr. shouldn't be playing at that left side, but Mbappe is injured, so there's no point even talking about it. Vinny is still the best left winger if Mbappe is injured. I'm not going to say that Franco should get a chance or Arda Güler should maybe play on the right and Rodrigo on the left. I think I would be doing too much. Vinicius, especially against Atletico Madrid, sometimes turns up. If we are going to get the Vinicius missing the penalties and that, I don't know. I don't know if we are going to get that Vinicius, but I hope not. I hope he performs well. I still like Vinny, by the way. But if you don't perform, my brother, get the fuck out of my club, man. Please, bro. Rodrigo, I'm expecting a huge game. He always performs against Atletico Madrid. I don't think I have seen Rodrigo play bad against Atletico Madrid. Maybe he didn't have the greatest of games against them in the second leg, I think, at the Wanda. In the Champions League, that's what I would say. He didn't have the greatest game. But yeah, this midfield is going to win us the game. I said it in my video previously. Camavinga, Tchouaméni, Bellingham. If they play like they did against Betis and add a bit of urgency, from playing out of the back and build up, I think this is the best midfield at Real Madrid. Fede Valverde, Carreras, Rudiger, Asensio. I have enough trust that Rudiger can stop Sorloth and win the physical battle. Well, once again, that's where my biggest concern lies. As I said before, Carreras, Valverde, they are great players in my opinion. But come on, Fede Valverde is not really a right back, and Carreras, the last game against Atletico Madrid, it doesn't give me any confidence. Courtois, my brother, do whatever you want. I know you're going to be great. Gonzalo Garcia, I said it already. I am expecting big things from you, and I think we are going to win this game. Now, you're probably wondering, what is my final prediction for this game? It's, of course, going to be played on Thursday. Make sure to tune into the watch-along tomorrow for the Barcelona game as well, and then for the Athletic game as well. For me, this game is going to end in a 3-1 win. Not comfortable. It's going to be 2-1 for a long time in the game. I think we are going to score first. Then they're going to equalize. I think Rodrigo is going to pop up with a second goal, and then someone like Jude Bellingham or a random guy from the defense is going to finish the game for Real Madrid, and we are going to go through to the final. Now, of course, if we go through the final, expect a match preview for that game as well. But this is a must-win for Real Madrid. As I said before, Xabi Alonso, this game is huge for you and the players as well. Vinicius Jr., for example, I am expecting big things from you. I expect big things every single game right now because you are performing like a donkey. Let's be honest, guys. Now, this has been everything that I wanted to say about this game. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know your prediction down below in the comments. Subscribe, like, and I will see you in the watch-alongs next time. Peace out.